Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're carrying into the May 2026 Innovation and Capital Recap for Central and Eastern Europe's startup scene. And let me tell you, if you haven't been watching this region closely, things are moving insanely fast. Startups out here iterate at lightning speed, and the major structural shifts happening in CEE often just vanish from your feed before you can even fully process them. So we're going to slow down for a few minutes today to look at the undeniable proof points that show exactly how and why this ecosystem is maturing so aggressively. All right, I want to start right here. 821 million euros. Just take a second to let that number sink in. That is the staggering amount of venture capital that poured into Central and Eastern Europe in just the first quarter of 2026 alone, spread across 138 funding rounds. I mean, this isn't a fluke. It's a massive, undeniable validation of the region's technical capabilities on a truly global scale. So, Section 1, the 821 million euro quarter, and moving beyond the stereotypes. For years, CEE has been slapped with this kind of limiting talent arbitrage label. You know the story. Global companies looking at the region and just seeing a discount talent pool. A place to outsource engineering on the cheap, rather than a primary hub for liquid value creation and massive scale. But the explosive reality of the data we're looking at proves this ecosystem is outgrowing that outdated perception, and fast. Founders here aren't just writing code for someone else's vision anymore. They are literally building the platforms of the future. According to Vestbee, there are three specific forces keeping the region firmly in the 400 to 900 million euro band for 9 straight quarters. We are seeing incredible traction in defense and dual-use technologies, vertical AI, and Ukraine-linked innovation. And what's really remarkable here, CEE is maintaining this high volume of deployment even as late-stage global capital tightens its belt and retreats from consumer-facing AI pretty much everywhere else. But, and this is a big but, despite that massive 821 million euro figure, the Vestbee report bluntly highlights a core, lingering problem. The local financing infrastructure to truly convert all this world-class talent into liquid value? Yeah, it still hasn't been fully built out. Founders in this region are actually still undervalued compared to their Western peers. The translation here is pretty simple. Local funds just aren't moving aggressively or fast enough to capitalize on the sheer density of talent sitting right in their own backyards. Which brings us to Section 2, scaling fast and deep. Hardware and software mega rounds. Check out this timeline for Exaforce. This is an AI-native cybersecurity platform co-founded by Czech engineer Jakub Pavlik. In May 2025, they raised a $75 million Series A. Exactly 12 months later, May 2026, they pulled in a massive $125 million Series B at a $725 million valuation. Now they've got heavyweights like Khosla Ventures, Harbor Vest, and PeakXV partners stacking the cap table. While the company operates out of San Jose, you simply can't tell the CE story honestly without counting founders like Pavlik who leverage regional engineering DNA to build global juggernauts. So the crucial point here is the velocity. Going from a Series A to a Series B of this magnitude in just 12 months is incredibly rare within the local ecosystem. But wait, it isn't because of a lack of local talent in places like Prague or Brno. Pavlik is exactly the kind of founder local VCs should be fighting tooth and nail to fund. The harsh reality? Local capital just isn't moving fast enough or, honestly, thinking big enough to capture and support these hypergrowth arcs. By the time a local fund gets its act together, global VCs have already swooped in and written the check. And hey, if you thought massive rounds were only reserved for AI software wrappers, or that deep tech was strictly Silicon Valley or Berlin territory, think again. A startup operating right out of Ploiești, Romania, just pulled in $50 million to fundamentally bet against the traditional GPU. The company is Cyberswarm, and they are building neuromorphic computing hardware. Essentially, this is hardware that stores and processes information in the exact same physical place, mimicking how biological neurons work in the human brain. The thesis here is totally unsexy, but incredibly obvious to anyone watching the space. AI is about to hit a massive energy wall. The winner of the next tech wave won't necessarily be the company with the biggest cloud bill. It's going to be the one with the most power-efficient silicon. Cyberswarm is building that vital infrastructure right now. And the timeline here beautifully illustrates the deep tech patience required to make it happen. Cyberswarm didn't just pop up overnight. Mihai Ranetti founded it back in 2017, collaborating deeply with Romanian research institutions. They actually had Draper Associates on the cap table by 2018. It took 8 years of intense, patient R&D grinding in Romania before raising this very real $50 million Series A for commercial deployments in aerospace, defense, and robotics. It's exactly the kind of deep tech, hardware-focused round that critics keep insisting the CE region can't produce. Well, Romania quietly just did it. Section 3. Seed Bets and Global Ambition. We're talking about building the picks and shovels. Just look at these two notable seed bets from May. First up, we've got Prague-based Xerops raising a €1.7 million seed. They're building platform-as-a-service infrastructure that connects AI coding agents, think Claude and Codex, directly to live cloud environments so they can build and debug in real conditions. And then we have DDI Invoices over in Ljubljana, raising $1.31 million. They are building a single API to untangle the incredibly complex web of cross-border e-invoicing and local tax compliance across Europe. I absolutely love this quote from the source material regarding DD Invoices. We talk about boring fintech like it's a downgrade. It is the opposite. Listen, e-invoicing rules are an absolute nightmare for any SaaS company selling cross-border in Europe. It's a massive, tedious regulatory headache, something literally anyone in SaaS can painfully relate to. But a Slovenian team stepped up to abstract that whole mess into a simple API, and they got Tier 1 Silicon Valley money. 500 global on their cap table to do it. Solving real boring problems is exactly what attracts serious global capital. Section 4. The wake-up call. So what's next for the CE ecosystem? Let's look at the May 2026 proof points, because they are completely undeniable. €821 million deployed in a single quarter, a $125 million fast-tracked US check for a Czech founder, $50 million for Romanian neuromorphic chips, a Silicon Valley seed check for e-invoicing out of Ljubljana. The money is here, the deal flow is incredibly real, and world-class innovation is happening right now across the entire region. These founders are building massive things, and they're doing it with global ambition from day one. The source specifically points out a crucial takeaway for neighboring markets. Places like Slovakia, for instance, have exactly the same caliber of talent and real founders as the Czech Republic, Romania, or Slovenia. The comparison points aren't thousands of miles away in Silicon Valley anymore. They're literally right next door. This means local funds across the entire CEE region no longer have any excuse to look the other way or move slowly. The blueprint for success? It's been proven locally. So, if you're a fund manager, an angel investor, or a family office sitting on capital in this region, I leave you with this final provocative thought. What exactly are you waiting for? What would it take for those massive checks to land in your local ecosystem next? Does capital need to move faster? Do founders need to aim bigger from day one? Honestly, it's probably both. But the talent is undeniably here, and the window of opportunity is wide open. Will you move fast enough to fund the next wave? Or will you let global capital beat you to the punch again? Thank you for joining me for this explainer. Keep your eyes on this region, because trust me, it is just getting started.